Welcome to this month's Ask Susan Deep Dive video, a continuation of my Ask Susan financial advice column in City Lifestyle magazine. This month's question is, Dear Susan, how do I find a financial advisor whose style is right for me? Fit is important, but there isn't one best financial advisor or best financial firm. There's only the one that best fits you and your specific needs and situation. So if you're looking for an advisor, I think the first question to ask yourself is, what do I really need? Some people simply want someone to manage their investments. They want a professional to build and manage a portfolio, make investment decisions, and rebalance and help manage the risk. But for many people, particularly as their financial lives become more complex, investment management is only part of what they need. You may also want help with retirement planning, tax strategies, estate planning, college and education savings, charitable giving, insurance and risk management, Social Security, gifting to children or grandchildren, and determining how much you can comfortably spend throughout retirement. Wow, that's a lot of stuff. So, perhaps the best answer isn't investment management or financial planning. Maybe you need both. Look at your entire financial picture. Your investments don't exist independently from the rest of your financial life. An investment decision can have tax consequences. Your retirement plan should influence how your portfolio is structured. Your estate plan can affect how assets are titled and ultimately transferred. Your charitable goals may influence which assets you sell, keep, or give away. And your insurance and risk management needs may change as your wealth and circumstances change. That's why an important question to ask an advisor is, are you primarily going to manage my investments, or are you going to help me manage my entire financial picture? At Stiles Financial, we integrate financial investment management with comprehensive financial and wealth planning. Our team has expertise in both areas, and we use a collaborative team approach to serving our clients. We think of ourselves as a financial one-stop shop. Our goal is to bring investment management, financial planning, retirement planning, estate planning coordination, charitable planning, education planning, and risk management together, rather than treating them as separate silos. When specialized legal or tax expertise is needed, we also work with a client's attorney, CPA, or other professionals. Not every advisory firm is structured this way, so don't simply ask, do you offer financial planning? Ask, how do you integrate my financial plan with the actual management of my investments? Understand how your money will actually be managed. If you're hiring an advisor to manage your investments, you should understand what you're going to own, who is selecting those investments, and how those decisions are made. Will your portfolio primarily consist of mutual funds, ETFs, individual stocks, individual bonds, or some combination of these? Who chooses them? Does the firm have its own investment team? Does your individual advisor select the investments? Are investment decisions outsourced to another company? Or are clients placed into model portfolios that may be very similar from one client to another? There isn't necessarily one right answer, but you should know the answer, and you should also know the fee structure. Is this commission, or are you paying fees? You should also ask, how customized will my portfolio really be? That can be especially important if you have appreciated securities, concentrated stock positions, significant tax considerations, charitable intentions, or other circumstances that require a more individualized approach. And understand the firm's investment philosophy. How do they determine the appropriate amount of risk for you? How are investments researched and selected? What causes them to buy or sell? How do they manage risk during difficult markets? How do they incorporate taxes into investment decisions? You don't need to become an investment expert, but your advisor should be able to explain what you own, why you own it, who selected it, and how it supports your financial goals in language that you actually understand. Another question every prospective client should ask is, how do you get paid? And I would take that one step further. What financial incentives might influence the recommendations you make? Some financial professionals receive commissions from the sale of certain investments or insurance products. Others charge advisory fees based on assets under management, financial planning fees, or use a combination of compensation methods. At Stiles Financial, we are a fee-based advisory firm. Our business is centered on providing advice, managing assets, and developing long-term client relationships rather than being driven by the sale of financial products. We want the conversation to begin with, what does this client need, not what product can we sell this client. Regardless of the firm you're considering, ask how the advisor and firm are compensated and what's included in the fee, whether there are additional investments or product expenses, whether there are circumstances in which the advisor or firm receives additional back-end compensation. A good advisor should welcome those questions and answer them clearly. Know who will actually be serving you. It's also important to understand whether you're hiring one individual or developing a relationship with a team. At Stiles Financial, our collaborative approach means the relationship isn't dependent upon just one person. Our investment management, financial planning, wealth management, and client service professionals work together and bring their respective expertise to the relationship. When you're interviewing a firm, ask, who will actually be working with me? Who makes the investment decisions? Who does the financial planning? Who do I call when I need something? And importantly, does your team collaborate about my overall financial picture? You want the people managing your investments to understand your financial plan, and the people helping with your financial plan to understand what's happening in your portfolio. Communication and personal fit do matter. Finally, there is something that's much harder to measure on a spreadsheet. How does it feel to work with this person and this firm? An advisor can have impressive credentials and still not be the right advisor for you. Do you want frequent communication? Do you want someone who proactively reaches out when something changes? Do you prefer detailed explanations or someone who simplifies complex issues and helps you focus on the decisions that matter? Ask how often you'll communicate, who you'll speak with when you have a question, and what you should expect from the relationship. And pay attention to whether the advisor is really listening. Are they asking questions before recommending solutions? Do you feel comfortable saying, I don't understand that. Can you explain it differently, please? Do you feel heard when you express a concern? Financial relationships can last for decades. You're going to discuss money, family, retirement, fears, goals, mistakes, and sometimes difficult life transitions. Trust and communication matter. In closing, so how do you know what style advisor and firm would work best for you? Don't start by asking, who's the best financial advisor? Instead, ask, what do I need and who is best equipped to provide it in a way that works for me? Understand the breadth of services and whether they're truly integrated. Understand what you're invested in, who makes those decisions, and how they're made. Understand how the advisor and firm are compensated and what incentives may exist. Understand who will be serving you and whether there is a collaborative team behind the relationship. And make sure the communication style works for you. Most importantly, you should feel heard, understood, and comfortable asking questions. Because you're not simply choosing someone to manage an investment account, you're choosing a person and a firm that may help guide some of the most important financial decisions of your life. And that's why finding the right fit really does matter. So thanks for joining me today. Tune in for next month's Ask Susan, where I'll discuss when it's actually okay to start enjoying your retirement. And if you have a question you'd like answered, reach out at asksusan@stilesfinancial.com. Thank you for watching. Ask Susan is an educational column created by Stiles Financial Services. SFSI is an SEC, fee-only RIA in Minnesota. Information presented is to be used for conversational purposes only, with the intent to spark a dialogue between you and your financial professional to see if it pertains to your own unique circumstances. This is not the receipt of or a substitute for personalized advice from Stiles Financial or any other investment professional, and is not intended as an offer of solicitation for the sale or purchase of any specific securities, investments, or investment strategies. Stiles Financial Services is not a law firm or accounting firm, and no portion of this program should be interpreted as legal, accounting, or tax advice. Viewers are encouraged to seek advice from a qualified tax, legal, or investment advisor to determine whether any information presented may be suitable for their specific situation.